I'm not going to lie. I think Gerald's got a point here. Hello, good people. Todd Shannon, data scientist, social commentator, getter of buckets. What are we talking about today? Thug and 304 culture. Who's responsible? Where did it come from? Why is it so prevalent in the black community? This is an age-old conversation. This is nothing new. We say, hey, it's the social ills, right? It's the lack of fathers in the home. It's the breakdown of the family. All of those things, 100% true. And I am an advocate of personal responsibility. I have always been one that says, until black people take responsibility for our own progress, until we get back to God, until we get back to the nuclear family, until we get back to hard work and dedication, nothing will change for us. End of story. However, I've come to realize something more so than I have in the past. And it's maybe something that's been in the back of my mind that I've kind of given a hand wave to. I was like, yeah, that kind of matters, but not that much. I think it matters more than I had previously given it credit for. And thanks to my guy, Gerald from the Real Gospel Chops, that kind of caused me to see something that maybe I was missing. And we'll talk about that in a moment. And I'll show you Gerald's take on it and give you my thoughts and how I shifted my thinking. But I want to talk to you a little bit about social engineering. We have to understand the importance of social engineering because now more than ever, the things that we see and that we hear are being curated for us to produce a specific effect. And this will become even more so when AI really starts to amp up. In a way, we already kind of got some sort of AI working because everything on social media is effectively algorithmically driven, right? But really the algorithm is just a stand-in for essentially the sentiments of the programmers and what they want to reward and what they want to penalize. They do so with a combination of things that go from anything from their personal gain and their personal interests to their ideological bents. Sometimes their personal interests outweigh their ideological bents, and sometimes the other thing happens in the other direction, where their ideological bents even outweigh their personal interests, at least on the surface. But social engineering is a big deal. And I want to talk to you about how this affects the black community and the one way that it's different when we see it more broadly in the culture. So we're going to go to my main man, Gerald from the Real Gospel Chops, and get his take on how it's impacting black culture.
Now, as we explore this topic, we have to understand all the things that comprise black culture. Music, movies, fashion, all sorts of things that are pumped into the minds of our children and our youth on a 24-hour basis with social media. But if we determine that black culture is an issue, is the issue of today, then we have to go a little bit deeper and peel back a few layers and find out who controls black culture. Who controls these signals, these messages that are flooding the minds of our youth? See, I've talked to enough young people to know that our kids know who this is, but have no idea who this is. You get where I'm going? Our kids know who this is, but have no clue who this is. So where's the real problem with black culture? I submit to you that it is beyond the surface level. It's beyond the top layer. You got to dig a little deeper and see who's pushing these negative messages in our society.
Well said, Gerald. Well said. Give me a little round of applause for Gerald. I think where the tide started to turn for me is when I started to really see and understand the depths of the poor content being pushed into our community and the sheer crappiness of it almost seemed contrived. It was so bad that I had to stop and think, like, why are they doing this? Like, why are they doing this? And I want to give you a little taste of where I kind of really started to say this is different. You may know who this artist is. She goes by the name of Sexy Red. She's recently been controversially discussed on many many social commentaries where the sheer vulgarity of her song Pound Town was on full display. Now, I don't have that particular song queued up for you, but I got another one because I want you to know that she's got plenty more where that came from. And I want to just listen to a little bit of this. I want you to understand, a little warning for you here. This is going to be pretty vulgar. I'm trying not to play too much of it, but I just want you to hear not just the vulgarity, but we'll get back to it. But I just want to play it for you.
Yeah. Bad we like fast cars. We like niggas that sell drugs with fast cars. Hellcats, SRCs, nigga come pull up on me. Drive the car fast, do the dash, shit make my leak. Real bad. Sitting pretty, 1,000 for the weed. Fingernails exotic, got look cute when I'm smoking weed. Track hog, say he wanna eat it. What the part? Bend it over. I'm from St. Louis, say he like my order. Tell that nigga, catch out for a whip. If he want my horse, playing with my while he drive, we on our way to more.
All right, I can't let you listen to much more than that. Here's the thing that started to blow my mind. The sheer crappiness of this content almost feels contrived. It almost feels like it's bad on purpose. Until I thought about something. This is where my thinking started to shift. I said, there was a time when, in order to be a rap star, you actually had to be able to rap. A shocker, right? I know, like, being able to rap, what a concept. This is no longer true. What somebody in some of these record execs, and this is what Gerald I think was getting at, was that Megan Thee Stallion. Do you know the record executive that funds and finances and amplifies her music? Sexy Red or Cardi B or whoever, Nicki Minaj, Lil Baby, name them. These are almost all. And I think the point he's making is that these are white, wealthy executives that amplify this message. And not to make it a racial thing at all. I'm not trying to make it a racial thing at all. But the point is that the point he's making is that the black culture, the degeneracy in the black culture is not completely organic. It is put on steroids by the amplification of this. And I think what they have found out is that even if the artistry and the talent is not there, if you can find someone who would just put their purely the most debased ideology out there and just spew that on the microphone and project that, then even that will draw people in, even if the artistry isn't there. Like, quite literally, I am not exaggerating. There's probably I could go down to downtown Omaha right now and I could find some random young lady on the street. I did not hear her rap at all. And she could do that. What we just heard with such terrible artistry, just the art of it is so bad. And yet they found out that if they market her and market that degeneracy, that she could still be successful. And this is where the social engineering comes in. Because see, at the intersection of greed and scarcity is exploitation, right? These guys are so greedy and hungry for money, they say, shoot, man, the talent pool is low. Talent pool is getting low. And you can, and I hate to say it, but part of it is due to the fact that the black community used to be a talent-rich, target-rich environment for a lot of musical talent. But with the degradation of our family and our social structure, that's becoming less and less the case. The actual talent coming out of the black community right now, because it's underdeveloped. It's underdeveloped human capital, because when you have all of these social pathologies, people don't develop to the level that they can. But that doesn't stop them. That doesn't stop their greed for money, their hunger for money. They just say, hey, who's willing to put out the degeneracy? Who's willing to put that out? We'll give you $100,000. We know you can never make that on your own. We'll amplify your message. We'll put you out there. We'll discard you like a wet napkin when we're done, and then we'll find the next sucker. And this, I realize, what they choose to amplify, because there are different people, especially with the rise of more Christ-centered rap. The talent pool there is actually not dwindling. It's actually probably growing, if anything. But they don't want to amplify that. They don't want to amplify that message. They are choosing to amplify this stuff. They don't have to. They can find other ways. And this is where the social engineering comes on. And this is where I believe what he's saying, because I see that they know that in order to put someone with this little talent, up in the mainstream, the only way they could get any attention is by being so excessively vulgar that it shocks you. And that's the nefarious part of it. But that leads me to my next point, which is the second part of the social engineering equation, because this is just one aspect of it. This is where greed meets scarce resources. But what happens when the social engineering is purely ideological? What happens when the social engineering is more so along the lines of, we don't even care if we lose money. We just want certain messages to be amplified and certain other messages to be dulled. I want to show you something that I think, I'm pulling back the curtains a little bit and showing you something that I think most YouTubers probably would not. Here's a quick view. The analytics from the video I did on Jason Aldean's song, Try That in a Small Town. This video got almost 40,000 views in less than 2 days. To put that in perspective, my little channel had I would say not even 1,000 subscribers at the time. So for me to get the sort of traction that video got in the first 2 days it's not very common. It's not very common. It was resonating. People, here I am, a young black man, saying that this stuff is not racist. This stuff is not bad. He's amplifying the ideas and the values of community and not being tolerant of lawlessness and all of that stuff, advocating for male pride and aggression, advocating for males to step up and to say, hey, let's take control of our cities. Let's take control of our towns. Let's not let it, rot in and be run over by those who do not value the same things. That was the basic message of my video. And somebody at YouTube thought that it was inappropriate for kids, literally. And so I want to show you what happened. Look at the arc of the traction on the first 2 days, and right before 2 days, I'm at like 39,000, and then they restrict it. And look at what it's done since then. Over the last 4 days, hardly even 1,000 views of this video. Think about that. What is it that they were trying to accomplish by doing that? Right now, you can go to YouTube's homepage without being signed in and without verifying your age. You can watch any sexy red content you want. You can watch any Nicki Minaj, any Lil Baby, any Blueface, any of the crap that I just showed you. You can watch it. Kids can watch it. If you look at shorts, there's all types of sexually explicit thumbnails. If you go to YouTube's community guidelines, it says, hey, we will restrict, things that are sexually suggestive, things that might not be advertiser friendly, blah, blah, blah. That's what they say, but that's not actually what they do. So somehow they've tuned their algorithm, or they've got some manual process to say, if you got a young black man, it doesn't have to be a black man, but if you got a young man advocating for traditional values, for masculinity, for not tolerating lawlessness, we might want to flag that as inappropriate. But if black degenerate culture is amplified all over the homepage of YouTube, that's okay. This is a different level of social engineering. You have to understand that this is something new. It's a whole different thing. It differs from the kind of what people call the culture vultures of the sexy red executives. These people literally are committed to a certain ideology. Well, I'm not, and I hesitate to say it, but I'm not even kidding. You can almost, without signing in to YouTube, almost watch near pornographic content. And maybe I shouldn't have said that word because then that'll get my video flagged for some reason. You can watch nearly that sort of content and nobody blinks an eye. It's such a horrendous problem that basically even TikTok started to crack down on that stuff because there was so much of it. And YouTube is still allowing it. That just tells you what their values are and what their system of values are. But here's the real thing that I want you to take from this. It's important that you and I understand what we're up against, the social engineering that we're up against, and that we push back against it. There's a lot of things that are happening that are not specific to the black community or to the white community, but there's an enemy, a broader enemy that we are fighting. Of course, it's spiritual in nature, but more specifically, they have a very specific thing that they want to project. And right now, the social media giants, the technology companies, they decide what's amplified and what's muted. And this is why I want to encourage you. Because what we have known and what we have seen from Bud Light to Target is that when we pull together and when we say enough is enough, you're not going to push a certain view of the world on me. You're not going to push it on my kids. We can take this power back. And part of the ways we can do it is that when you have content like this, you share it, you like it, you interact with it because you let the algorithms know this is what you want. You want to see more of this. And what they can't deny, even if they don't like what we're talking about, is that at some point, if we show them that this is the sort of content that works in their best interest from a business standpoint, then at least we will create that conflict of interest. And eventually we'll have alternatives with a parallel economy. So companies like Public Square, for example, who are now coming up, where giving people an opportunity to do business where their values are welcome. But we got to keep fighting, friends. We got to keep fighting until we find something and we find a way to free ourselves from the algorithmic tyranny that exists on YouTube and exists on Facebook and Instagram and whatever. So let me know what you think, friends. Do you think social engineering is a big deal? I think it is. But if you disagree, let me know. Put a comment, put a like and a share if you appreciate this comment. And if you like to see more of this stuff, just let me know. Till next time, friends. God bless you.